Hi everyone, I'm Miss Lori and I'm back today to talk about jobs and interviews. We'll touch upon just a few key questions that may come up and we'll highlight some vocabulary to help you succeed. Alright, so one of the most common questions to start an interview might be, so tell us a bit about yourself. Now, it might seem so simple, but it can put a lot of people off. So definitely have something prepared for this and try to make it work-related. As tempting as it is to talk about your hobbies and your love of Japanese food, for instance, that's not really what they're after. They want to know about you in the context of a work environment. So if you are currently employed somewhere else, you could explain the type of work you're currently doing. If you're a student, you can explain where you are in your education. And you can also use this opportunity to tell them why you're interested in this role. Another tricky question that might come up is a question like, where do you see yourself in 2 years or 5 years? Something like that. Again, it's really common for people to want to say, oh, actually, I hope in 5 years I'll be able to quit my job and travel around the world. As tempting as that is, that's definitely not what employers want to hear. So you could keep it as maybe skills or programs or experience you're hoping to gain at this role over the next couple years, or maybe you're hoping for further growth and a promotion in the role you are applying for. Okay, so it's very common for employers to ask you about your strengths and your weaknesses. We'll start with the strengths. Hopefully that will be easier to talk about. But again, we want to keep these work-related. So let's cover some work-related vocabulary. So things you might want to tell your employer about your strengths. You could say that you are very independent, you are capable of leading a team, or maybe you're great at multitasking, that you know how to handle competing priorities or competing deadlines. I really know how to prioritize my tasks and projects. Maybe collaboration or working well in a team is one of your strengths. You could say you are a self-starter, you're highly motivated, that you can stay focused under pressure, that you have experience working in fast-paced environments, that you are a team player. You could say you have great or strong attention to detail. Maybe you can say that you're very flexible, that when changes happen, you can accommodate them quite easily. Maybe you're a great problem solver or a creative thinker. Maybe you are enthusiastic, friendly, responsible, approachable, reliable. And if it's true, tell them that you always meet your deadlines. All right, so you've highlighted a few of your key strengths. What about weaknesses? Employers will expect you to answer this question. And if you say that you think you don't have any weaknesses, that's going to sound a little arrogant, actually. So I strongly recommend that you come up with something. However, you don't want to make yourself look bad in front of your employer. You don't want to lie, but definitely you don't want to make yourself look bad. So you could talk about something that you are classifying as a weakness, but that your employer will actually see as a strength to them and the company. So if you say, well, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I always have to stay and double check everything to make sure all the details are just right. So for you, this might be an annoying quality and you're presenting it as a weakness, but employers love to hear this. They want to know that their future employees are going to be really careful and take the time to make sure their work is done really well and pay attention to all those little details. And if you're really struggling for another weakness, you might even say something a bit unexpected, that you're a little bit of a research nerd, that when you start a new project, you can't help yourself, that you might even spend your free time doing some extra research into things that can help you at work, that you really throw yourself into new projects, and that, yeah, it might eat into your free time. Again, this could be a weakness for you, but it's definitely a strength for your employer. So hopefully these little tips and this vocabulary that we talked about today will help you present yourself in the best possible way. Just remember, even with the best preparation possible, sometimes bad interviews will happen. So don't stress out, just shake it off and prepare even more for the next one. And hopefully you will find that dream job in no time.